The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The overseas voting for this year's election starts today. In Hong Kong, thousands of Filipinos went to the polling station to cast their votes. Despite the good turnout, Consul General Rally Tejada advised OFWs to consider voting on other days. This as Hong Kong police have raised health and safety concerns amid the country's battle with its fifth COVID-19 surge. Now, over in Europe, over 150,000 registered voters are expected to cast their ballots. Some parts of Italy, like Milan, have implemented both personal and postal voting. Now, some areas like Rome, on the other hand, will be carrying out postal voting. Meanwhile, the COMELEC has suspended overseas voting in Shanghai, China, due to an indefinite lockdown in the area. Some residents are now scrambling for food amid supply shortages. Let's watch this.
I'm here in my apartment in Shanghai in the last day, supposedly the last day of my lockdown, but it looks like it's going to be extended. And my biggest concern right now is food. I'm running short of everything, and I want to give you a little peek inside my refrigerator. It may not look so bad, but I got to tell you, a lot of stuff is pretty old. Got milk here. The expiration date is April 1st. The bread's expiration date is March 30th. And today is April 6th. Thank God I still have a little bit of wine because I think I'm going to need it. So the biggest concern right now for a lot of people is how to get food. For us, we have to order online through this one grocery app called Ding Dong My Chai. Basically in the evening, usually after 9 p.m., you go into the app and see what's available. And as you can see, a lot of fruit, meat, and vegetables already gone. The big problem seems to be we can't get groceries delivered to our apartment because there's a lack of drivers delivering food in general because of the lockdown. The number of cases continues to rise in Shanghai and Jilin province. Both areas are struggling with the economic and personal ramifications of the lockdowns, with food shortages, a lack of medical care, and shuttered manufacturing plants bringing misery to residents. Shanghai remains the hotspot for the current flare-up, despite indefinitely extending a sweeping lockdown of its 25 million people. Originally intended to be carried out in two parts, the rising number of infections led to a continuation of the restrictions in the eastern portion of the city that were initially expected to be lifted last week. So one question that I'm getting asked is why didn't I stock up on more food? Well, first is, we were told that my phase of the lockdown would last from Friday through Tuesday, and it's already Wednesday. Didn't know that it was going to be extended. Obviously, I could have gotten more meat and vegetables, but even before the lockdown, it was kind of hard to find. I still have a lot of instant noodles, Spam, and the odd carrot.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Rates of anxiety and depression soar by 25% during the first year of the pandemic. Now, how can we cope with these emotions? A best-selling author tells us in this video.
These practices like meditation have always been necessary, but I think that they're mandatory now. The first thing that we need to do is really recognize the anxiety and call it by its name, because a lot of times we can walk around in a very extreme anxious state and not even be aware that it's there, not even be aware because we're running and we're pushing and we're trying to avoid it. And then there's some powerful practices for grounding your own energy in the moment. Place your hand on your heart and your other hand on your belly, grounding yourself with this heart hold and breathing into that space in your belly. And on the exhale, just letting it go. And the deep inhale and exhale starts to relax your nervous system, and the hold begins to send this message to your entire nervous system that it's safe to relax in the moment. You tap on this energy meridian, which is called the gamut point, between your pinky finger and your ring finger, and you just tap right there. And while you're tapping, you can just say to yourself, I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. Dropping your tongue to the bottom of your mouth can be extremely relaxing to your whole system, because it starts to just relax your jaw, then relax your neck, relax your shoulders. And it sounds simple, but it's profoundly effective. And these kinds of practices are extremely soothing in the moment when you're walking around outside and noticing that you're nervous about COVID or turning on the news and terrified by what you're seeing. You can use these practices to self-soothe in the moment.
In the first year of the pandemic, global rates of anxiety and depression soared by 25%. That's according to the WHO. Stress caused by social isolation was a major factor. Constraints on people's ability to work, seek support from loved ones, and engage in their communities also played a part. I asked Gabby, what are some things that we can do to help build inner resilience in the long term?
Now more than ever, meditation is one of our most necessary tools. We need to have a reconnection to our breath. We need to have a time to get centered, to recalibrate, to bring our nervous system back to a steady state and get ourselves out of that constant chronic stress response. So many people adopted animals during COVID, and I would say keep doing that. These little angel babies, these little fur babies, have the power to really soothe our energetic system when we co-regulate with them. This is my little kitten, Jimmy Blue. She is my little healing Buddha. You're much stronger than you think you are. And the more that you ground yourself in your presence and a state of inner peace and make that your highest priority, that's when your true strength can come through.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Catholic devotees flocked to the minor basilica of the Black Nazarene in Quiapo Church to attend Palm Sunday Masses. Authorities have called for vigilance as huge crowds are expected for the celebration of Lenten season. Unioil Philippines is seeing a 20 to 30 centavo cut in the prices of diesel in the coming days. Gasoline, meanwhile, is expected to decrease by 90 centavos to 1 peso per liter. Tropical Storm Agaton maintains its strength as it continues to move slowly westward. As of 4 in the afternoon, Agaton was spotted over the coastal waters of Lawaan, Eastern Samar. Moderate to heavy rains are still expected in several areas in Visayas and Mindanao. And for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.